All right, what's up, everybody? Scott Brio back again. This time I'm going to be doing a video on the incredible S2400 by Isla Instruments. And I just got this thing a couple of weeks ago. I kind of only sort of know what I'm doing. I'm really kind of just figuring it out. So you'll have to bear with me. I figured that you would all rather watch me make some stuff on this and have some content to watch, even if it's not some amazing video. So what I've got here is I've got a beat that I started working on. It's probably my second or third kind of little project idea. Just some samples I've chopped up. What I did do is I loaded this thing full of sounds, right? Because I have the S2400 hooked up to my whole system here. So anything that's playing from my computer or from the TR-8S, which I will turn on, or anything, even the synth back there, the PEK, all of it will come into the back of this thing and I can just sample it, which is incredible, really amazing. If you don't have it set up like that for your studio, I would definitely recommend on doing that. That being said, you know, this is, I'm gonna try to not be too much of a fanboy here, but this is the best sampler I've ever used. And I've used a lot of samplers, from the Roland D series to Akai MPCs, a bunch of different ones, from the 60 to I had a 5000, the 3000. I had an ASR-10, which is amazing. I had a EMU Emax, the original one, which sounded very similar to this in a lot of ways, a little bit rougher around the edges, which actually kind of shares the same sound engine and processor that and converters that are in the SP1200. So I never had an SP1200 and I always wanted one, but I just, I honestly had a feeling that something, and I was hoping and praying every day that something like this would come out. So of course, when Brad started talking about it online, it was still in the early conception days. He just had some things sketched out or some rough idea made in 3D or whatever. I was in and I paid for it. I was probably 2 or 3 months into sales being online. So I got mine in the first boat shipment that came from China, number 476, 477, I think. Anyway, enough about that. This thing has so much crunch and so much character and so much punch and glue to it. It's just insane. And I know all you people that are waiting for years, this is music to your ears, right? Because you're hearing stuff and seeing stuff online that people are making, and a lot of really good stuff so far. Mostly kind of like hip hop beats. So I'm a house producer and DJ, and I'm going to be using this thing primarily for house and drum and bass. So far, it's been insane. And as I was saying, having this thing hooked into my entire setup here, this is going to be the hub of everything that I make going forward. Of course, I have the TR-8S, which is great for kind of very dynamic hi-hat performances and the my synths and stuff. But this will be the absolute starting point, the scratch pad, the brain. Well, I guess Ableton is the brain of the studio, but you get the point. And I honestly think that this thing sounds so good that it's literally, and I say that, everyone says this about gear. Oh, I just need this. It's gonna make my sound so much better and crunchier, and I'll sound like Jay Dilla, or I'll sound like Daft Punk or whatever. This thing is maybe the first piece of gear that really, it really is true. It's got so much glue and character that this thing will change the overall tonality and workflow of your music making, and in the best way possible, right? So I am just elated to have this thing. Enough of all that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play this beat for you that I kind of started, and I'm just gonna keep working on it. I'm gonna do, as I go, I'm gonna keep doing these and do ones from scratch. I've got this drum and bass track that I'm gonna make. I've got this whole setup now. This is my new room, right? So if you've watched any of my previous videos, I was in the room next door, about half this size, and I looked very cramped in there, and I was. I could barely even move my chair without hitting my bed. But now I have this room, which is fantastic, and I actually have a lot of room to move around and room to grow. So you'll be seeing a lot of videos from me, especially on this thing, because I am hyper juiced on the S2400. So anyway, let me play the beat for you. It's just a real simple one so far, anyway. So as you can see, I've got a 4-bar drum loop here. It's got kick, hats, the 808, and then the nice little drum break. Cool little sample. This is a bass sample that I just from some sample pack. But these are really good because what you can do is, even though they're loops from a sample pack or whatever, you can chop them up really easily in the S2400 and really kind of make it your own. And on top of that, some people kind of cringe at the idea of, oh, it's a loop, like I can't use a loop. It's like, look, get over it, man. Your job is, as a music producer, is to take sounds from places, right? And put them together in a way that makes people feel something. These loops that are in the S2400 or on your computer or whatever, they're not making music on their own. So they're not making people dance just on their own. And it doesn't make you any less original if you use those. And for something like the S2400, this is perfect for those loops because it's a sampler, right? So I mean, of course I could go over to my Poly Evolver keyboard and make some stuff and then run over here and record it in, and I do that. But there's something to be said for just reaching into a library that's already on here. I've got probably about 20 gigabytes already on my SD card in the S2400, ready to kind of rock and chop up and do whatever. Drum sounds, I have 200 categorized drum machines, and then all my samples. And again, sometimes I just sit here and I just take samples right from the computer, and I just do nothing but a sampling night. Something I used to do with my ASR10 back in the day, and I hadn't had a hardware sampler for almost 8 or 10 years. Okay, I had the S2400, but really it was a little too crunchy and gritty to really kind of use as a main notepad, scratch pad in my studio. Anyway, enough of that. Sorry, I'm getting on a tangent because I'm so excited. I'm just gonna start making something. I'm gonna see what I can do and see if I can turn this into something. I'm not gonna be able to get into song mode because I haven't even really read how to use song mode, but I do know that it's possible. So I'm just gonna make a bunch of patterns and then see if I can string them together later. So here we go. On pattern 1, and then let's see, pattern 2, I do have that in there. Whoa. This thing is full of happy accidents. It's crazy. So I have this, which, and again, I don't really know. Okay, well, let's see. Let's see if we can. I don't think they're in the same key. No, they're not in the same key. All right. How do we change the pitch of this? So it's I pitched it up too. So we're gonna go with that. So now it's kind of in the same pitch or key as this one. Again, still just figuring this stuff out. But what I want to do now is I want to chop this guy up. Press shift and back to stop that guy from playing. If you want to stop, you just do that. Loop slice, multi-mode. I love multi-mode. And again, what multi-mode is doing is it's mapping this sample that we have here across a bunch of different faders. Let's just start over with these guys. What I just did there, I'm gonna try to talk through all these so this can kind of be a learning experience as well. I mean, I kind of hate when people just show off what they're doing and just fly around. You can't really tell what they're doing. If you can see the screen, I don't know, it's a fairly high resolution camera, but anyway, I'll tell you. I'm starting all of the faders down, so this is what the start of each sample that's being spread across here is, and the top knob on the filter is the end. So we got start and end, and so I'm just making each one of them the full length now. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's good, and let's go ahead and chop this guy up. Bring the end back. And what I do is, like, as I'm doing this, I mean, sure, you can do it with this going, you know. There's also something to be said for just being able to tap your foot and figure out how long you want it, you know? Kind of adds a little bit of extra mojo. Sometimes when things aren't completely perfectly on the beat, it does something nice. So that's good for that one. Kind of 2-bar bit there. I'm gonna go ahead and raise this to where the other one left off. We're on pad 2 here. That's good. Doing the same thing here where I'm kind of catching the end of the other one. Now you can see how fast that was. It's just insane. I mean, the fader, between the fader and these knobs and having the pads right here, the workflow on this thing is what the original SP1200 was, just on steroids. And literally everything about this thing is the SP1200 on steroids. And it really is, it's an ode to the original, right? It kind of keeps some of the creative limitations of the original without the bad ones, I suppose. You know, there are things like the amount of channels. You only have 8 different channels that you can send all the 32 of these pads and sounds through. They become choke groups. And that is a creative limitation that they put in there on purpose. I would like to see maybe in the future, Brad and the team give you the option to turn that off, because it would be nice just to have one voice, one channel for each pad. But I can understand why they did it, and it does kind of make you make some creative choices, right? It makes you think about what you want to be playing, not having too many sounds, because really you shouldn't be having more than like 4 or 5 different things going on. And by things, I mean your drums, that could be 1, a synth, that could be 2, a bass, that's 3, 4 vocals, right? I mean, that's what the Beatles did. They had a 4-track. But, you know, that being said, it does make you work a little bit harder for it, you know? So anyway, enough of that. I like this. Yeah, let's hear how it sounds with the drums. Sick. All right, so I'm going to hit, not shift, I'm still getting used to the shift and the double functions at the top here. Just gonna hit copy, go pattern 3 to pattern 4, number of copies 1, go ahead and do it. And now switch over, okay, so now I have this on 3 and 4, and it's a 4-bar loop for both of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on 3. So let's see here. Like that, messed that up. Got a loop slice here. Hold erase. If you hold erase and you hold the pad while it's playing, it erases whatever's on that pad. So let's do that. All right, good. It's a really fast way to get rid of stuff. I love it. Everything in here is so smartly laid out and kind of right where you expect it, which makes it quicker to learn and quicker to use. Still, you can only accelerate the process so much. Okay, so let's go here. Now we have, go back to multi-mode. All right. Sick. This thing is it's just thick, man. It's like even without being on classic mode, it just sounds crunchy and buttery and amazing. So, all right, we got that. Let's go to, I want to make sure, I'm gonna hit shift and hit pad 2, which had our kind of first CS80 bass sound, and just make sure, what is that on? That's on channel 4, alt channel 2. So let's go here, let's put it on the same one. So 4 and alt channel 2. All right, so now if these two are playing at the same time, they'll cut each other off, which is what we want, because I don't think I'm actually gonna have both of these going over the top of each other. Okay, well, why did that not work? Well, I thought that was gonna cut it off, but maybe not. All right, we'll just keep going. All right, shift pad, assign sound, messing with something that's in a completely different key again. I kind of got lucky with that last one. We could go back to one shots. So let's see here, synth one shots. Let's do that. Let's see what happens with that. Ah, see, that is it's cutting something off. So that is grouped to a same channel as something else. I'm gonna hit shift pad on that pad, and I'm gonna scroll around and play it and listen to it and see what I can get away with not cutting off. You know what? Hearing those two sounds layered up was a bit too much. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let them cut each other off. It kind of creates some cool, and see, this is what's really cool is, you know, once I get my sounds into Ableton, what I'll do is I'll use sidechain compression or track spacer or LFO filters or something that essentially what I like to do is I like to let one sound cut out the other sound, even if it's just part of the frequency spectrum or something, because what it does is it lets you kind of fit in more there without things stepping on each other. And so I really like that this thing does it kind of inherently. It really just forces you to have a more simple, groovier thing without being overly complicated. So let's lay down a couple of these and we'll let it cut off the bass and just see, we'll just let it be what it is. But I do want to multi-mode this. Loop slice, no, pitch, multi-mode. Sound like the ice cream man. Let me do this. Actually, I want to show off the, let's set it to, it's on hi-fi mode. Hi-fi mode sounds fantastic, but we're gonna switch it to classic just so we can hear what it sounds like when it's being pitched around. I haven't even done the pitching trick on this thing. It just sounds like an S2400 just inherently, which is great because if you want that extra added crunch, you can do it, but you don't have to. You really don't have to. Let's set the pitch of this to something that's a bit more in key. And I'm setting the pitch res to classic 32. I'm completely off beat there, but well, I'll figure something out. Let's see. It'd be really cool if, well, I guess you can change, yeah, you can change. Okay, sorry, I'm still figuring this out. I was gonna say it would be cool if you could set these to a certain, like, make it so that they're all in the key of B sharp or something, but kind of pointless because you can make them exactly what you want them with the faders. Whoa, listen to that. Wow. All right, let's not get carried away. Okay, kind of sounds like a lot going on. So I'm just gonna make a bunch of different patterns. Again, what I'll probably do as I go and as I'm learning this thing, rather than really kind of beat my head against the wall and try to make some super sick beat in this thing or a song that from start to finish, you know, it's perfect. What I'll probably do is I'll end up making as much as I can in the S2400, dumping it into Ableton, and then arranging it there and doing what, I mean, that's generally kind of how I work anyway. I'm kind of a hybrid producer. And that allows for the sound of hardware and the fun and constraints, even the creative constraints of hardware. But it allows you, you know, the ability to use Ableton in your DAW for really having flexibility and making really what you want to happen very easily. So again, we're on pattern 4 now. Doesn't have the bass line, but we do have this super sick fucking synth line. Whoop. There's no undo again. Pitch, multi-mode. That is awesome. Level, let's, I want to bring the level of this down. Let's get out of multi-mode. So here's something, I don't know if this is a bug or if I just don't know what I'm doing, but when I hit level and I'm on, I assumed that I would hit level, and then now these become the volumes for any given pad, which is what it says it's in the manual. But when I do that, it doesn't seem to be doing anything. And I do know that when you hold shift and use, shift and fader, there's this extra little line in there, and I think what that does is it sets the main setting for whatever pad, the level of the pad that you want, so that you can set it to a certain loudness, but then you can still go top to bottom there and have some flexibility with the volume. But it doesn't seem to be working for me, so but it seems quieter now. Oh, there we go. Oh, weird. Okay, that's good. hit B to turn the filter on. I absolutely want that. No, wait, why? Fader's turned on. What do I have to do to get it to record the automation? Okay, not working. All right, I don't know how to record that. All right, well, this is the point where I have to turn to the manual, and that's no fun to watch or listen to. We're about 36 minutes in with this video, and I feel like I talked about a lot, and we were able to hear it, right? And again, I don't have this thing mastered yet. I'm going to do some very focused tutorials going forward, but for now, I think this is good. So anyway, I hope you like what I've done here. You know, I'm gonna do a lot more of these. If you do, go ahead and give me a like and subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. And again, I'm Scott Brio, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace out.